Hello and welcome. I hope you're doing all right. I am doing all good. Very busy. Just spent the last couple of hours cleaning out the corner where the waterfall's going, as you can see at the back there. That's why all these rocks are down here and on the other side as well. A little bit tiring, I must admit, 'cause I haven't got my wheelbarrow. The wheel's gone on it. But yeah, so just taking a little bit of a break, really. Not getting a lot of time to film, but as I haven't got the kids at the moment, I thought I'd do a quick whip round. So we've had a few batches of frost, mostly been just mild and wet, though, to be honest with you. So escaped it as opposed to other parts of the country. I think it got down to -2. So we'll go around and have a look at what survived and what hasn't, and a few other things of note. Plenty going on in the garden. Garden definitely seems to be busier in winter for me than it does in the summer, because I spend most of my time taking up and taking down paddling pools, to be honest with you. Um, so just a few things really, sort of more landscapey wise, is, oh yeah, I got some new ferns as well. I'll have a look at them in a minute. So these pots that are around these poles at the bottom, think I might take them out. I'm just starting to get a little bit twitchy about the wood at the bottom rotting, and obviously they're quite an important part of it, the structure of the pergola. I did take some precautions, as you can see. I've wrapped up some rubble sack around it to waterproof it. The pots themselves are on, as you can just see there, a little bed of gravel, so they're not actually on the ground. And I've shoved some bamboo sticks down there just to hold it out to keep the air out. But I don't know if it'll show up very well, but I was having a look and it's all very sort of dark down there. So I'm getting a bit worried. I don't think I'm going to lose too much. It's a bit of a shame because this passion flower has been a real doer for me, particularly. Both of them have, but this one's just kept going and is still alive. So I was thinking about if I take them out and then put plants in the ground, but they'll just get wrecked. And obviously I've got the concrete for the posts, holding the posts in, if you see what I mean. So I'm not sure how I'd work that. So the plan really is going to be to try and grow stuff down it, if that makes sense. So I might get a couple of baskets with something that trails down if I can. But yeah, just something for me to ponder on. Or I've got loads of legs from the water butts where I bought the 3 water butts, and they're like in 3 sections. But if you turn it upside down, they're actually effectively plant pots that will go round in a circle. So maybe we'll visit that another time. Another news that we had was that I had some cavity wall insulation done. So they had to get up to the windows and up to the wall, so I had to chop down a few of these wires, which is a bit annoying. Even more annoying, the only place that the humidity fan could have gone in the kitchen was right there, as you can see. So it's a bit annoying. It had to be done. So I think what I'm going to do with that, just in the summer maybe, I'm not in any rush to do it now, but what I'll do just to make it look a bit better is get a bit of wood to put in that filler, take the facer off it, pull it forward, extend the pipe, so the extractor fans kind of sat on top of the wood, if you see what I mean, just to tidy it up a bit. Another thing, this, where we've been having so much rain, I think one of the kids knocked the end off the my little catchment, because what happens is it comes down, sits on top of this joist, and then drips down. And also that last bit of the roofing doesn't actually hang. The other side's a bit better angle. Doesn't actually hang over the edge of the guttering. It hangs over the joist, and you can see what it's doing to the joist. More importantly, though, it's dripping down here, and my lock-in system for this has swelled up, so it's stuck. I'm sure it'll be all right once it dries out again. But yeah, just something to do. So I think I'm probably just going to get another bit of roof in and go over the top of this section here. But yeah, again, not well, I am in a rush for that, actually, because I know it's probably going to rain for the next 6 months. So yeah, but these are just things we have to think of. So let's get around to a few of the plants. So got the cheese plant now. He's always been straggly, that one. I took loads of cuttings off it, so I might pop that one in the ground next year. And the Nephrolopus is doing okay. The fibrosis is looking really alive, actually, really coming up now, so that one will be good next year, I think. Most of these are just acting as a little defence for the stones. The Norfolk Island pine, couple of pines. The Tetrapanax I forgot about because it was at the back, so I didn't bring it in for the frost, but he looks all right. I'm sure he'll be fine. Yeah, so as we move around, the most of this is all doing all right, as you can see. All the Fatsias are starting to berry up a bit now, so once they just get past this point and the new growth starts coming up from the side, I'll chop all the berries off. Hopefully that'll have the effect of they can put more energy into the leaves, and also I think the berries have got ricin in them, and I've got a toddler, so I don't particularly want them ripening and falling on the floor and whatnot. So here, yeah, the Safia's doing like ridiculously well for the fact as how cold it's been. Seen a couple of frosts, beastie fronds, as you can see, coming up. I suspect we'll get our cold snap here in January in a month's time, which will probably be in and around the time those two basically come out, which means they'll die off straight away. So yeah, all I've did with this is you can see my heating at the bottom. It's just on a little, just literally a sort of valve in there that I can just turn by hand, a little lever valve to turn it on and off. So that's a nice little reserve. Suddenly if you get caught out, you can just turn it on. At least there's something around the roots. And then all I do is just dump some fleece over it. You can see via the Dixonia that I didn't quite cover all of it up. This bit is doing absolutely fine, perfect, apart from the ends. That bit I obviously missed it, and it's burnt off, so decent frost. Scheffler is looking good there, and all this is just waiting for stuff to kind of grow a bit. So yeah, as we move around, Fatsia is the Fatsia. I have to duck down here. Hydrangea Samanii that I moved just so it could get a bit of water from over there. He's not dead, so that's good. This Cyathea, you can see I didn't cover it. It's got the coil around it, so it's still throwing up fronds, but yeah, the actual fronds burnt off. But I definitely, if I was going to put Cyatheas in the garden, I would definitely class them. Technically, they're evergreen, but in this country, I think you think of them as like deciduous or herbaceous, if you like. That would be the best way to think of them. Yeah, another Dixonia here. You can see didn't cover this one up actually, so the bit that's not under these branches, not that they do a lot, but they're obviously doing a little bit, and it just some of them look good, some of them don't. Lophosoria's looking okay. Pilostagia's obviously good. This Cyathea is looking pretty good. Again, this one's burnt off. This one hasn't got a coil on it, but it seems all right. I don't suspect that crazy are open, but yeah, we'll see how it does. Scheffler has been stripped of a few leaves at the bottom, so the canopy's starting to raise on this one a little bit, so that's good. I've just chopped my canna down earlier, so I'll just let those cuts sort of air off a bit, if you like, and then I'll just shove all of that back over the top of it for now. Pilostagia looking good. And then, yeah, definitely looks a little bit empty without that canna there, even though they'd all browned off. Sorry, I've left myself an absolute nightmare of stuff to walk through backwards when you're not looking. Lophosoria's doing all right. Scheffler is like literally clinging on by a fingernail, but he's okay. Yeah, I stumbled across quite a good thing about closing the space up. Sorry, I'm traversing. Health and safety would have a field day here, I tell you. But I kind of just put that bamboo there just to get it out of the way because it was in the corner. And I'm kind of thinking with those two bamboos, maybe I don't particularly want to put them in the ground because I'm not sure what they are. I believe they're clumping because I took it off a clump in my mum and dad's allotment, so I don't think they're runners, but I don't want to particularly risk it at the moment. But what I might do, sort of on the inside of these two flower beds, so kind of where that purple pot is, and then bring this one over more towards where that in front of that chair is, actually sink those pots in the ground, or repot them, and then sink them in the ground. That'd be quite nice. That'd close up the space a little bit and cover the climbing frame from this angle. In the center here, yeah, these are all doing all right. I'm not going to bother protecting the banana. I don't think it should be okay. Famous last words, Willemy's doing okay. Yeah, so The I'm getting it. We've had so much rain that even this clematis, you can see the little brown bits, black bits, all on the ends, and that. I think that tends to mean it's been overwatered. It is a no, I wouldn't say a boggy bed that, but I've had a few plants go from overwatering in there, so it's obviously not draining too well. Heavy clay were on here. I didn't go down far enough. As regards to clematis on Wiregate, not a lot happening at the moment, but the clematis is budding up, as you can see. So this will flower and hopefully get growing soon. We'll just come back to the waterfall. I'll just go around the rest of the plants a minute. This fern, rabbit's foot fern, died off. You know, he's doing really well now. They love this kind of 10 to 15 degree wet weather ferns, obviously. Dixonia is just in a pot there. I haven't done anything with that. I completely forgot about it, but he seems all right there under that, which is quite an interesting thing. That cheese plant we've seen, maybe in there because it's really under the clematis, under the honeysuckle, so it may sort of do better than the ones I've chucked out before. But of course, it's, you know, you can get -2s and everything be fine. You get a -4 and it all dies. Speaking of the honeysuckle, still looks absolutely fantastic. Supposedly semi-evergreen, but looks like it's going to hold its leaves, hopefully, as long as we didn't get anything too bad. You can see the frost did take off all the new growth at the top, so that'll all get stripped down by the wind in the next couple of months and leave me a little framework of what to cut back next spring. Sago palm's doing all right, and then over here I have protected all of this, but as you can see, the other honeysuckle still doing well, still growing actually. All these ferns look okay. Even the sort of more tender ones, there's a blue fern at the back there, Nephrolopis there, obviously the Tetrapanax and another Dixonia behind. They seem to all be doing okay. So let's have a look at these new ones. Just a couple of little ones. It was my birthday last week, so my wife, I didn't want anything particularly, but I've got a load of plants on the board, on my whiteboard, my list of stuff to get, so she just got a few of them for 50 quid. So one on the left, one on the left is these are all from Jungle in a Box. One on the left is the Cyathea tormenticia, or whatever it is, Highland Lace. So that one's a dwarf sort of fern as they go with Cyatheas. It'll only get about 1 meter high in ideal conditions, so you'll be lucky to get that. Sort of relatively hardy. I think it's actually a member of the sort of Cooperize, if you like the other ones I've got in the garden. So not the hardiest of Cyatheas, but I expect when they size up you could probably put them outside. But for now, so with all the Cyatheas, I found the best way to do it is like most people would do when they're that size. You know, put them in a pot, keep them inside, and then next winter I'll be putting them in the same pot, but kind of where they're going to go almost. And then the third year put them in the ground. Middle one's a Todia barbara. Is a kind of get about a meter and a bit tall. But the unique thing about this one is that, if anyone's particularly interested, is the spores sort of just grow. The spores kind of don't go all the way up the leaves, they just grow on the like lower part of it. So yeah, just, you know, someone else, why not? And then a tiny Cyathea medullaris. Yeah, you know, I don't think that needs any extra introduction. The black tree fern, if you want to call it that, I get an absolute beast, but probably won't survive outside. Although I will have a go at it, believe me. So I might get a couple of them and just have a couple in reserve. So yeah, you can see I've dismantled my patio to make room for some big ass rocks. The reason that is because obviously they're big and I didn't want to move them too far because I'm not that strong anymore. So yeah, waterfalls going here. I'll put up now for a few seconds my inspiration of what I'm trying to do. It's very ambitious, but the idea is that the big thing to take from the picture is that the sort of bit on the left, which is a bit more kind of steep and free fall and just a thin strip of water coming down, and then the bit on the right, which is a bit more of a cascade. That's the effect I'm going to go for. If you're interested, that is Nyakura waterfalls in Costa Rica. I spent 6 weeks in the area. It was all very nice. So yeah, so really major thing is this kind of plan. I'll go into it more because I'm going to do a diary of them, so I won't go into it too much. But this thing here, this big stone, it is pretty big. I haven't got anything for scale in it, but it's basically a meter long by about 70 wide, very flat edged at the front. So if you imagine that spinning around 180 degrees so that the pointy bit is pointing towards the back as we're looking at it, idea is two bar stools on the two stalls, and then that is going to be used as a bar protruding over this middle stone, and then the back of it will sit into the waterfall, and then where it's got these little sort of V shape at the back, have the sort of water come straight down here, the little one, and just vanish in behind it. It's going to be a pondless waterfall. And then here just have the big cascade, but we'll get into the nitty gritty of it in the other ones. As I said, there you see there's the socket cable ready for the socket. I just got to decide whether to put the socket on the left there or feed it through the waterfall and take it to the right. Yeah, I'll just give it a quick clean, just letting that settle. The one thing about this, right, this is a concrete thing. As soon as I was going to put a waterfall in, knew I was going to put a waterfall in, I poured this bed down. It actually goes all the way around under all these stones. So these are all sat on a big, like, I mean, it's fairly deep. It's between 60 and 40 centimeters deep, and it comes all the way, like I said, all the way out. So it's quite big. The only trouble with it I can see at the moment, which I'm just going to figure out next, is that when I hosed it all down, all the water sort of pooled in the middle here, as you can see. So I've got to be really careful of that because I don't want water sitting under a big waterfall with loads of rocks on it with loads of kids around, so I don't want it being sort of weakened. And unfortunately there's concrete up that end, that bit in the corner is a bit higher, concrete there, concrete there, concrete there. So the only way it's got to escape is this way, which means that what I'll have to do is probably take this hibiscus out, maybe, or at least go up to it, dig right down, and then kind of fill it, I don't know, with like chippings, if you know what I mean. So there's a bit of a kind of soak away there. And then what I'll probably do is get a real thin mix of concrete before I do anything, lay it on top with a slight fall going that way. And then the blocks that are going to make up the bottom layer, the ones the equivalent of these, kind of leave gaps in them. So they're almost like pillars rather than just a sheet of blocks, and then that should let air get in, water can then run away that way, and then the layer on top of that, put them down, you know, as a big solid bed, and that should be all right, I think. But yeah, we'll get into that more in a minute. These things were horrible, so I just got to hose them off shortly. Good job, because it's freezing cold and the wind's up, so that's going to be fun. Oh Christ, sorry, Ankylosaurus tripped me up. Yeah, that's about it really, I think. So yeah, next few videos you see, hopefully I'm aiming to do it over Christmas, the waterfall. I've got the pump, I've got the pump ordered, so that should come at some point. Then we can have a look at that, see how long the cable is for it, so I know where to put the socket. I'm erring over towards the left just because it seems not a great idea to run a cable through it in case there's any issues or anything like that. So, but we'll see how we do. We'll get over the logistics in a bit. And yeah, that's about it really. So yeah, hope you're all having a good one. Hope you all have a good Christmas and loads of merriment and whatnot. And yeah, as far as tours go, we'll see you in the new year. But as I said, I'll start drip feeding out some waterfall ones as and when I get to it. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.